Hey folks, welcome to the What the Futures podcast, your quick guide to better farming decisions. The canola ghosts have been coming across here, and it's not that I want to pick on the buyers like I did last week, but I got a G3 notification about, hey, next week the tariffs are coming on. I got the Viterra. Hey, the boat sails October 31st is fine. November 1st it isn't. I even have Cargill coming in saying, hey, the U.S. is not going to be accepting Canadian canola oil anymore. And I'm like, what?
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. So anyways, all these different things with this negativity out there. And for me, let's park the Cargill one, because I told the farmer, I'm like, I'm going to have to do some Googling to figure some of that out. It wasn't top of mind for me, but let's just talk about China specifically. I think the easy thing is to say, hey, at some point they're going to announce something and it's going to be negative, right? But have you had any insight on when that could be? Have you seen any change in tensions between China and Canada? Is there anything that we can warn the farmers on the Halloween edition about the canola market?
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about how quickly market conditions can change, and so hopefully by the time this goes to air, things won't have made me look stupid in the meantime.
It's happened to me already, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I think you're right. It is a given that it will happen at some point. It's just a matter of when that is. And truth be told, I think there is more. There are more of these reports, these rumors, these kind of things that are filtering out. So I think just based on frequency, it seems to be leading in that direction, that it could be sooner rather than later. I think
there's smoke, there's fire. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
potentially?
one of those kind of things. Yeah. Rolling Stone. I don't know, or whatever. But yeah, it's I think for example, the Canola Council, is always talking back and forth with the Canadian government and trade people there and stuff like that. And so that can filter out to the members of the Canola Council, and, or maybe the merchants are talking to their counterparts in China and they're getting some stories that way. So who knows how it's coming out, but it seems to be coming out more and more. And somebody told me that there is, based on the trade rules, if they're, whatever they're worth. But the trade rules is that November 6th or 7th or whatever is the soonest that China could announce something. So, who knows? Maybe that's what they're talking about. Maybe they're just speculating based on that, that next week sometime, that's when that could change. So, it's quite possible. And I mean, we're almost certain that it will happen. It's just the timing. Right? And whether, and even then, once they announce that, do they have a certain, whatever to get the boats loaded? Is it, those types of things? And, if they're,
is there a grace period
if sales have been made, already, like, a few weeks ago or a couple months ago for delivery in, November, December, whatever the time frame, are those still okay? Are those still, we don't know, right? So there's all kinds of uncertainty about it, but the most certain thing is that it probably will happen at some point. When the Canadian government a couple of weeks ago talked about that they were kind of softening the tariffs on EVs or I guess aluminum and steel, those kind of things, and allow some exceptions. There was some hope that might ease things, but I'm not sure. The bigger one in my mind, and just to finish that thought, and I think if there is a tariff put in place, it's not going to get dropped quickly. So the question is, how long does that last, and so on? The point you raised about canola oil to the U.S., that one to me would be a way bigger deal, actually.
the grower I spoke to, I said if that were the case, and I'm sure I'm taking this out of context a little bit, but if that were the case, like I would consider not growing canola. You'd have to, like, if that would be a complete game changer in that market moving forward. So I think what's maybe coming out of that, if I'm trying to read through this, is that there's the talk about, the used cooking oil coming into the US and trying to see which government will be elected and then in the US and then who will, stop that from coming in. But that would be bullish soybean oil, I would think. So I don't know.
Yeah, that would really cause a lot of disruption because the canola oil that gets produced in Canada, the crusher's output, what's the number now? About 3/4 of it gets exported. Of that oil gets exported, and almost all of it to the U.S. these days.
Yeah.
So
it looks like the lion's shares to the U.S. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is true. I mean, the Donald Trump has talked about across the board tariffs, 10% tariffs, from, who knows, on all products from any country. So, so that is I guess that's what they're talking about.
Yeah. That could be
I don't know if 10% tariff would be pretty damaging.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, that's a real risk as well too. But on the positive side, let's have some positive news.
I was going to say, let's go see if there's anything positive here. Yeah.
Sure. Well, in the last few years, even before the 21 drought, Canadian canola prices were going like this. And to a large degree, Canadian canola was at a premium to a lot of other locations, like particularly Australia as a key export competitor. But Canadian canola now has dropped off, and Australian canola stayed largely steady. So right now we're right in the same ballpark in terms of prices. So what that means is, from a competitive perspective, for places like Japan and Mexico, which used to be large buyers of Canadian canola, they would both take about 1.5 million tons, give or take, or they would each take that much. Last year, it dropped off considerably because they were shifting to Australian canola.
Yeah.
And so now that we're competitive again, we're probably in a position to regain some of that market share. And we're also going to be exporting more to Europe this year. And we could probably export a bunch to UAE now, and they would crush it. And that could be another 1 million tons, crush that, sell the oil to China, those types of things. So there are other outlets, but yeah, there is risk in the market.
When I look at marketing canola right now, I feel like we're getting the best of everything right now. We have the best export numbers. We have the crush is just doing its thing, cruising along. We don't have any tariffs. We have these rumors of the slower crop. Like, this is all baked into the market right now. And I sit here and think, well, geez, why would I risk more here if the canola market's 14-ish, maybe a bit under, a bit over, depending where you farm? Why wouldn't I continue to move this physical stuff out? And if I want to be bullish, if StatsCan surprises the heck out of us, I can do that on paper all day long. And so I've given up some basis, I think, potentially. We'll see next spring and summer by locking some basis in, getting some puts on, continuing to sell. And my consulting clients, we've been uber aggressive. We've fit on paper, we can do our thing after, but the physical stuff, there won't be a drop on farm here in the next month or so. It's going to be gone. So, not saying that's the right thing. It's not the right thing for every farm, and I don't want to, go and say that. It's just when the downside risks, when those headlines come out or those updates come out, it's going to be a bad day and a bad week.
Yeah, it's whether that's going to last for a while. Like if that reaction is just like when they first announced that they were investigating Canadian canola, you saw the price go, and it worked its way back higher.
Yep.
Is this going to be the same thing? I don't know. But I would agree with you though. I would say that if anybody really doesn't have much sold, I don't think you want to be going into, I think you'd want to be looking at some of these bids that are, these companies are so generously providing at this point, and actually take some advantage of those to get caught up, to not be completely hanging out there in the wind.